Hey, hello guys, how's it going today? Today I thought I'd give you guys just a couple of examples of what you should be doing for your homework here as you're going through. I'll give you an example from each of the sections of homework that you're going to get so that you can kind of look back here and see kind of what I'm doing as I'm going through. So this is what we're going to do here. All right. The first section was on page 462, exercise 5, and you're looking at the evens ones. And basically what it wants you to do is it wants you to look for an incorrect comparative or superlative and correct it. Oh, this should be pretty easy for you here because they do sound pretty awkward. But let's read through the first one. So problem number 2 is going to say this. If someone has good taste in art, how can there be gooder taste? Now, what we are looking for is a comparative or a superlative. Remember, a comparative means that you are talking about two different things and comparing them, like no duh. And then superlative means you're talking about three or more things, and you are comparing them in three different things. So comparing is two things, superlative is three things. In this case, when we look through here, you see that we're looking at adjectives. You have words like good is telling you about the taste. We have gooder is telling you about the taste. And that should give you a pretty clear indication of what we're going to do here. All right? You look at the word good. Good taste is okay. But the word gooder over here, the word gooder should sound awkward to you because if you remember the forms of good are not. Good is gooder. Good is good. Gooder, goodest. It is good, better, and best. So if you look back to that last page, you can actually see that whole chart. I mean, it's on page 461. So the correct answer would be, rather than saying would be gooder taste, right? We're in the comparative form. We'll use the comparative form of good, which should be better. All right. So all you'd have to do for this answer is write the word better. I would probably do this to make it a little bit clearer. I would write the word gooder. Then I put a little arrow or put a dash and say gooder to better. So I know that you're changing gooder to better. All right, that section should be pretty easy for you. The next section asks you just to use the comparative or superlative form of the word in parentheses. So in this case, we're looking at the word famous. Remember that when we're talking about comparatives and superlatives, if we have one syllable, generally we will use ER or EST. If we have two or more syllables, generally we will use more or most. All right, that should be a pretty familiar concept for you. All right, so in this case, we're looking at he was also the blank famous artist of his own time. Now, we're talking about him among all the artists in his own time. So that means we're not just talking about one thing, we're talking about multiple things here. So we're talking about three or more, so we're talking about the superlative. We look at the word famous, and the word famous is a two-syllable word, famous. And we look over here for two-syllable words, we should use more or most. The one that is comparing multiple things between more and most would in fact be most. So what I would write on this blank is we would just write most famous. I know I'm writing it in. You guys can type the answers in as you go through. All right. Hopefully that's pretty easy for you on that section. Now let's keep on moving and see what we can do. On page 464, the first section asks us to do this. Write the demonstrative form in each sentence, then write adjective or pronoun to tell what kind it is. So basically, you're looking for one of those demonstratives. Those are the this, that, these, and those. Find one of the words and then tell me, is it a pronoun or an adjective? Right, so number 2 says, all of the pictures show in some way seance influence. All right, that would be because Mr. Han typed this incorrectly, and it should be all of... And we're back! As you can notice, Mr. Han has fixed that small mistake that he put in there. Now you can see that we have the sentence, all of these pictures show in some way Sazani's influence. We're looking for this, that, these, or those. So the first thing to do is find that in the sentence. All right. And then the question asks us, once we've chosen this word, so let's use the text box. I think that's a little bit clearer. I'm going to write on my answer, it's going to be these. And then I need to tell whether or not it is an adjective or a pronoun. So basically the idea is it an adjective which describes something or a pronoun which stands alone? In this case, these is sitting right before a noun, which would be, actually, these is sitting right before adjective, which is sitting before a noun. So pictures is telling you about this show, as well as these is telling you about the show. And therefore, the correct answer would be yes, the word is these. And in this case, it is an adjective. Now, if you have a pronoun, it'll look something like this. It might be a sentence that says something like, let me write an example. What might be that? That might be something where it says, the balls we used are these. All right. In this case, if you look at the word, these over here, these is standing alone. It doesn't have anything to describe after, so this would be a pronoun. All right. These ones will be a little bit trickier for you. Make sure that you're just telling me whether it stands alone or whether it goes with something else. All right. Adjective or pronoun. Next section, it asks you basically just to choose the right word. This is the easiest section in the whole book, I would say, or not the whole book, but at least what you're going to do. All you have to do is look between the two words. Please remember that this and that are singular, these and those are plural, and never put something like this here. All right, it sounds very Wisconsin-y to me. Oh, this here is my daughter, just so you know. So what I would do is I would choose this because this here is wrong. So you guys can do those ones pretty easily. Last but not least, let's move on to the last section I'm going to ask you to do. This is on page 466. What you need to do in this first section is you need to write each adverb and then tell me whether it is how, when, or where. So all we're going to do is we're going to look through the sentence and look for adverbs. Remember that adverbs describe three different things. They could describe a verb, they could describe an adjective, they can describe another adverb. All right, we're looking for a word that describes one of those three things. So we have unlike in previous years. Previous is the describing word, but it's talking about years, which means that this is an adjective. This is a prepositional phrase. This is a conjunction. Our conductor. Our is an adjective describing a noun, so this is an adjective as well. Can comfortably, so comfortably is a describing word, assign the parts. All right, the parts is a noun. Can assign is the verb. Comfortably is describing this verb can assign. Can assign. It's sitting in between it, which is a little bit weird. So this is an adverb. All right, so what we're going to do for our answer, use my little text box again. And I will write down the correct answer, which would be comfortably. And once we have the word comfortably, we still need to identify one of three things, whether it is a how, a when, or a why. Is comfortably telling you how he can assign partners? Is it telling you why he can assign partners? Or is it telling you when he assigns partners, or is it telling you where he assigns partners? In this case, comfortably is telling us how he can assign. All right, because it's telling you that he's comfortable while he's doing it. It's not a lot of work. So the answer for this one would be comfortably. You should put a little dash and then put how. Finally, last but not least, we have to the Greeks, music and mathematics were very similar. Our instructions for page 46 through 10 is to write each adverb and then write the word it describes in parentheses. So that should be super easy. All right, we have to the Greeks. It's a prepositional phrase. Music and mathematics were very similar. All right, so we have math and music, which are both nouns here. We have were, which is actually our verb. In this case, it's actually a linking verb. And we have similar over here. Similar, in this case, is describing music and math. So that would make that an adjective, so we don't have to worry about that. But we do have the word very. Very is one of these things that we call an intensifier. It was mentioned in a couple of videos that I added to you. Basically, very is just adding significance to something. In this case, very is telling us how similar. So that would make that an adverb. It's an adverb that is describing an adjective. So what we would do for our answer is we're going to write the adverb, which is going to be very, and then we're going to dash, and you need, or it says in parentheses. We should do it in parentheses. Very, what word is it describing? It is describing how similar they are. All right. Hopefully you were able to get along with these. Please ask any questions if you're not understanding things. Have a wonderful day and great e-learning experience. Talk to you later, or TTYL, as the kids might say. Adios.